Hello, and welcome to this edition of Army Reserve Today, the video magazine for Army Reserve warrior citizens. I'm Specialist Katie Summerhill. The terrorist attack on the World Trade Center towers in New York happened 10 years ago. It was an event that changed the lives of all Americans, a tragedy that brought home the reality that everywhere is the front line of the war on terror. Looking back at the events of September 11, 2001, one Army Reserve Command Sergeant Major who serves on the New York Police Department recalls what he remembers and felt on that fateful day.
We got off the ferry, proceeded up to through Battery Park, up West Street, and just north of where I'm sitting right now is when I found my brother's fire truck. Took a look inside, and I saw that he wasn't in the truck. So I knew that he went in with his men. Now, as the chauffeur of the truck, he didn't even have to go in. Mark wouldn't have that. He actually went in with his men. I had gotten a call on my cell phone. Renee, Mark's wife, had called me, and she told me, hey, Chris, are you down there? And I said, yes. And she said, well, Mark called me on his way down there, and he told me that, don't worry, I'll be fine. If anything happens, Chris will find me. So she said, find him, Chris. So I said, I will. I promised her I would find him. So I told the fellow officer that I was with, Eddie Lewis, I told him, my brother responded, I told him where I found the truck, and I said, we need to find him. He said, Chris, I'm not leaving your side, we're going to find him. On 9/12, throughout the whole day, going into the afternoon, we just continually went around the whole site and searched the whole site. Every firefighter we saw, we turned them around. Hey, have you guys seen the guys from 23? And it was the same response. They either said no or I heard those guys didn't make it. Then we stopped sometime that afternoon, and I just kept thinking about how Mark's wife had told me that Mark told her, don't worry, if anything happens, Chris will find me. So Eddie and I had stopped. We were actually on the Church Street side, and again, the next day, 9/12, you still could only see a couple feet in front of you at the most. A monarch butterfly, big butterfly, flew into my face, flew directly into my face, and I'll never forget it. I thought about it for a second. I looked up, it was gone. That's when I had a real pit in my heart. That's when I was convinced I had found my brother. I don't know about all the other firefighters. There were 5 total, but they did recover my brother's remains on April 5th, which was his birthday.
Army Reserve Criminal Investigation Division special agents work hard to stay sharp during their 1 weekend per month and 2 weeks per year training schedule. Staff Sergeant Stan Mazak takes us to Lakeland, Florida, where one unit uses hands-on training and partnerships to get the job done.
Ready. Moving.
One of the many skills these special agents have to maintain is providing protective services driving escorts. These are Army Reserve soldiers, special agents in the 383rd Military Police Detachment, CID, or Criminal Investigative Division.
We practice as if we were arriving at a destination with a principal, with a motorcade, a limo, and a chase car. And we practice the tactical driving procedures up until the arrival and then the dismount.
Working as CID special agents, these reserve soldiers do more than escort and protect VIPs. Another part of their battle training assembly involved digging, sifting, and photographing.
We did a forensics type training where we did an outdoor crime scene. We simulated a body being buried underground as if it were a body dump, and we isolated the scene, cordoned it, conducted a forensics investigation, photographed, processed, and unearthed the body as you would in a forensic scene.
Most of these reserve soldiers also bring civilian law enforcement experience to the table, which maximizes both training value and mission success.
90% of them are either police officers, detectives, or federal criminal investigations at another agency.
Maintaining high Army standards of CID training and readiness is a team effort between the Reserve CID Detachment, their active component mentoring battalion out of Fort Benning, and local civilian law enforcement.
We are based in the city of Lakeland, and there is no Army support anywhere near us for ranges, for training sites, for anything like that. So we rely on the Lakeland Police Department, and they have been excellent support for us. And we conduct all our training, our outdoor training, here at their site.
Reporting from Lakeland, Florida for the 222nd Broadcast Operations Detachment
part of the hip.
in the 200th MP Command, I'm Army Sergeant
Spinal cord.
Stan Mazak.
Company A, 1st Battalion, 169th Aviation Regiment, is returning after a year in Afghanistan. The Fayetteville, North Carolina Army Reserve Unit made a name for itself as the first Army Reserve Black Hawk unit deployed in support of Operation Enduring Freedom to that war-torn country. Staff Sergeant Ryan Matson has this report about the unit, who calls themselves the Smugglers.
The soldiers of Alpha Company, 1st Battalion, 169th Aviation Regiment, also known as the Smugglers, are pioneers.
Yeah, we're the very first Black Hawk unit from the Army Reserves to be fielded here in Afghanistan. The Army Reserves have stood up several Black Hawk units in the last few years, but we're the first to be put out the door to come here and support Operation Enduring Freedom.
Like many reserve units, the Smugglers pulled from other units throughout the country to build their team.
We have individuals from 7 different units and 13 different states all collaborated together to build up this unit to get us out the door. We've got people from all over the place: Texas, Colorado, Eustis, Knox, but we don't look at them that way. They're just all smugglers, and we all just join together to get the job done.
And come together they did. The Smugglers flew hundreds of missions, logging more than 5,000 hours along the way. The unit of about 50 soldiers finished their tour with 14 combat action badges awarded, 8 air medals with Valor, 2 Bronze Stars, and 62 air medals.
We're a CAC company, so we are a command aviation company, which means not only do we do all the basic missions that a Black Hawk does, all the utility missions, the air assaults, the sling loads, the regular movement of personnel and equipment, but we also do the VIP mission.
Sergeant Christopher Franzen has been a Black Hawk crew chief for 9 years. He described a typical day here.
Well, it all starts with the mission. We'll get the mission, find out what it is. I'll prepare the aircraft for that particular mission. Our mission is pretty much battlefield movements. You know, I'll keep the seats in the back. We'll go pick up the soldiers, take them wherever it is they need to go. A lot of times it's got a lot to do with cargo too. Like today, we flew around some 81mm mortars. We got those out to the Korean Army.
As the Smugglers plan to return home to locations throughout the United States, they can look back and know the first reserve unit to fly in Afghanistan was a success. Reporting for RCEs from Parwan Province, I'm Staff Sergeant Ryan Matson.
Army Reserve quartermasters are a necessity on today's battlefield. Warfighters can't take the fight to the enemy if essential supplies aren't there to use. Simple things like drinking water and fuel, as well as laundry and bath services, impact our warriors' performance in any theater of operation. Army Reserve quartermasters tell their story in their own words during the Quartermaster Liquid Logistics exercise conducted at sites in New Jersey and Virginia this summer.
QLEX is a Quartermaster Liquid Logistics exercise. We distribute to military bases throughout the United States. We take a whole lot of Quartermaster units, place them in locations throughout the United States, put a package together of fuel units. Our mission is to distribute DoD fuel.
The trucks will roll in, and once the tankers are staged, then you have a guy that will stand on top of the tanker we'll draw a sample from the bottom of the tank itself, probably more likely through the filter separator. And once we get that fuel out of the filter separator, we'll bring it over here to the lab to test the fuel product and also the flash point of the fuel, just as well as the type of fuel it is. That's the main purpose of this, of being out here, being set up, is to be able to test the fuel on site and give you quicker results back.
Besides selling the fuel, we also do produce, store, and distribute water for our troops in the field. Shower point staff. It gives our soldiers an opportunity to go and utilize a piece of equipment for showers that are right down the road from them. Quartermaster, laundry bath, a laundry unit, you drop it off and pick it up, and it's so convenient. That's about what Quartermaster is. The EWPS is the Expeditionary Water Packaging System. This is the first year at QLEX that we've ever attempted to do this. It's been very successful. It's new, it's only contractor operated and actually utilized for the exercise, where we've taken water from a water source at Fort Pickett. That water can be utilized to package 1-liter bottles for the troops.
Right now what we're going to do is proceed in taking a testing sample for the potable water, drinking water. Our mission here and our work is to make sure that the water is up to standard. Then we take the water sample
and transported it to the EWPS site so that that water can be utilized to package 1-liter bottles for the troops. The life support of the soldiers is what Quartermaster is all about.
Specialist Jacqueline Bain of the 356 Broadcast Operations Detachment, Fort Meade, Maryland, provided this report. All Army Reserve units perform annual training each year, unless they're deployed, usually at a post or installation within the United States. But one unit, the 949th Medical Detachment Veterinary Services of Ames, Iowa, went to South Africa to participate in Shared Accord 2011, the largest joint exercise of its kind ever performed with the African nation. Staff Sergeant Adam Stone reports.
The members of the 949th Medical Detachment Veterinary Services from Ames, Iowa have traveled to Port Elizabeth, South Africa to participate in Exercise Shared Accord 2011. They're here to work with the South African National Defense Force Medical Service and local veterinarians spaying and neutering as many as 300 cats and dogs in the neighborhoods north of Port Elizabeth. The soldiers of the 949th say they are happy to be in South Africa. Specialist Kidron Cox is a student at Iowa State University. He's been looking forward to training in South Africa.
It's a great opportunity. I mean, I had opportunities for internships this summer in my major, and I put those aside because I knew that this was a maybe once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to come to this country. So, I mean, it's a big thing for me.
The U.S. Army helping the neighborhoods of South Africa pleases South Africans. Dr. Marcel Snyman is a veterinarian near Port Elizabeth who works on large animals such as donkeys and horses. He says he was in denial that the U.S. Army would perform community service in South Africa.
Yeah, it really sounded like a hoax kind of thing first. We thought, no way, the U.S. Army won't come here and do things or help out in this great way. And so we're still living in a bit of a dream here, trying to, well, okay, this is happening. And we are all excited and really glad that you guys came.
Reporting from Port Elizabeth, South Africa, for the 807th Medical Command, I'm Staff Sergeant Adam Stone.
Our final story on Army Reserve today: congratulations to the 2011 Army Reserve Best Warrior Non-Commissioned Officer category, Sergeant Christopher Couchot, a Senior Transmission Systems Operator Maintainer from Sydney, Ohio, representing the 335th Signal Command. Netting honors as the 2011 Army Reserve Best Warrior Soldier category is Specialist Ryan Barger, a military policeman from Allendale, Michigan, representing the 200th Military Police Command. Both will go on to represent the Army Reserve in the Department of the Army Best Warrior competition in October at Fort Lee, Virginia. That's it for this edition of Army Reserve Today. I'm Specialist Katie Summerhill. Thanks for watching.